The current crisis in Europe is never out of the financial news, but what does the future hold for the euro? Today, I'm joined by Lorne Baring, Managing Director of B Capital. Hi Lorne, thanks for joining me today. As we know, the road to a Greek recovery is a long one. They have, however, secured a second bailout. Does that mean they're definitely staying in the euro, or is there still room for them to move back to their currency?
I think there will continue to be speculation as long as there are worries in Europe. The second bailout is just another liquidity measure, like the LTRO programme as well. Whilst we deal with a solvency problem with liquidity measures, the problem will never be solved. It just buys time.
Is it a good thing for the euro as a whole that they've stayed in the currency?
Yes, I think that Europe as a trading partner, which is the biggest in the world, benefits from the unity of one currency. Clearly, it's difficult when some countries within the euro are suffering from low growth, whilst others are growing and exporting to the wider world. In the current situation, some of those countries are suffering from structural imbalances and a lack of competitiveness, and they must be questioning whether it is right to remain in the euro.
If Spain and Italy need bailouts, are we going to see this continually happen, or are we going to find more of a willingness to let countries just go back to their currencies?
I think, again, this is liquidity measures which help countries in the current environment. It doesn't address the solvency problem of those countries which must grow to be able to repay their debt. A certain amount of forgiveness, in the case of Greece, of the debt will help, but in the end, an economy must grow to be able to repay its obligations. That's very difficult for some countries, and particularly Greece is really suffering at the moment. And the question continues to be asked, would it be better to take back the local currency, devalue and then reflate, or stay with the euro and a much longer path of austerity, which may end up better for the country as it stays within the European Union, the euro itself, but the possibility is a short and painful exit may be better. Currently, there is very strong popular support, even amongst countries that are suffering at the moment, to remain in the euro.
What do you think we might see over the next few months in terms of how strong the euro is?
The short term will probably gyrate around political announcements. The economics show that, in fact, Germany is very strong and could support the euro considerably as the major player within the eurozone. However, as we continue with political uncertainty and reform question marks, the possibility is a sell-off in the euro in the short term. We have the Greek switch of obligations on Thursday night. That is unclear in terms of whether the vote will be passed and bondholders will agree to the switch, and that is currently sending the euro lower. These kind of political shenanigans will be the only reason for the euro to weaken. Otherwise, the fundamentals of the strong countries at the core of Europe could drive the euro higher in the medium term.
So what do you predict for the euro-dollar over the next few months?
Well, predicting euro-dollar has been very difficult recently. The current weakness reflects the concerns as to whether the vote to accept the haircut on Greek debt will be passed tomorrow evening. If it is, then the likelihood is there will be a rally from the current levels back up to where we saw earlier in the year, possibly above 134. If anything goes wrong and we are subject to the usual macro-political worries, then it's quite possible we'll see the euro go lower. Certainly the bets are for the euro to go lower in the short term. On the other hand, Germany, which is extremely strong, exporting very well and growing at considerable pace, is, as a large member of the euro contribution, possibly going to drive the euro higher. And we could see it back at the levels of 135 to 136 as a relief rally.
Let's finish on a big question. The euro, what does the future hold? Will it survive, or are we going to see a lot of countries reverting back to their original currencies?
Look, I think that the euro will survive, and there is huge popular support within the electorate, even of weakened countries. But the damage has been done, and it's quite possible that the euro in its current format may see some changes, and it is possible that some of the weakest countries need to leave and return to their local currency.
Well, Lorne, thanks so much for joining me here today. Some great insights there. If you want to keep up to date with all the latest FX news, stay tuned to Dukascopy TV.